What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over my top 10 upcoming remasters and remakes that are releasing. Now, I got a couple honorable mentions. We got a little bit of criteria to go over, and this actually was a topic suggested to me. I greatly appreciate any and all suggestions. If you guys want more of these, definitely let me know in the comments, and we'll get right to work on. I'm a man of the people. So first thing, I want to give two honorable mentions to the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, as well as Lollipop Chainsaw. And I also want to say, in terms of like Final Fantasy VII Part 3, that would be easily number one. But because they've split up 3 different times and, you know, they're kind of doing it, but they're also kind of going in their own way, I'm not going to include that. And also the rumored Final Fantasy IX remake is obviously not going to be included because it is a rumor, right? So with all that being said, let's go over my top 10. And at number 10, I'm going to throw the entirety of Dragon Quest kind of at you. Now, it's not all of them, right? But we got the announcement for 3, and that's coming out in the fall. And then they're also doing 1 and 2. Now, this is a franchise that I've never played anything. Maybe I played Dragon Quest Builders once, long back in the day, but I've never touched this franchise. I feel like it would be directly up my alley nowadays. And what better way for me to experience it for the first time than a modern remake, right? So let's just throw them all together. It's going to be 2 separate products when all is said and done, but people really like this franchise. People really like these games. I want to like them as well, and so I'm interested, but I can't get too interested just because I've never played them before versus some of these others where I have played the original. Number 9, I'm going to go Epic Mickey, and kind of lower on the list, but I like the first game quite a bit. I've told the story. I actually got it physically on the Wii a few days ago, at least when I'm recording this. Very happy to have it. It was a renting type game situation back in the day. I think it's a nice, solid game. I think it's a really clever idea. I really liked it back then. Now, I haven't played it in, oh my God, a decade plus easily, so it's been a while playing it when it gets a remaster. So kind of changes, right? Dragon Quest more of a remake, this game more of a remaster. I'm definitely excited to see what it's like in 2024. Number 8, I'm going to say, is Until Dawn. I didn't want to put it too high. Until Dawn at its base game is probably one of my favorites of this list. I almost feel like what you have to do when you look at a remaster, remake, right, is and especially in a list-like form, is say, okay, well, what did I feel about the first game? But then also, what exactly are they doing to enhance / modify or change, whatever you want to call it, to the experience you're going to get now? And I think Until Dawn is an awesome game. I think what they're doing clearly makes it better, but I don't think it makes it outrageously better. I would actually, even though I'm very excited for it, I'm getting it day one, all that jazz, I would controversially say, I don't even know what's controversial. I don't think Until Dawn really needed a remake. I think the game holds up extremely well. It's 9 years old, right? Turns 10 in August of 2025. I wouldn't have put this on my list for games that needed a remake in the first place, but regardless, it's getting one, and I am excited for it. Okay, number 7 is Splinter Cell. This is probably, I think this is a good spot for it, right? Because there is anticipation for it, and there's also a lot of worry for it, because this is Ubisoft, and as you're probably going to see from these other lists, and even games that are unconfirmed, so we know they're doing like Assassin's Creed remakes, right? We just don't technically and officially know which ones. They're late to the remake game. So like we don't have a vast, pool of evidence to say, okay, well, this is how they do remakes. You're going to get an Assassin's Creed game, a Splinter Cell game, a Sands of Time game, probably very close to each other, right? And we're going to see the quality that they put into the remakes. With that being said, Splinter Cell is a franchise I really like. It's been gone far too long. Sam has been gone far too long, and this is a game I remember playing actually very young, probably like, oh my God, 7 or 8 years old. I remember going over to a friend's house every other day, and he would come to my house the opposite day for an entire summer, and he had the Xbox and he had Splinter Cell. So we would play this game a ton, and very young. It's been a very long time. I think I've played it since then, but it's been a long time since I've played these games, and I think they can do it. Will they do it? There's a couple worrisome signs about Splinter Cell, at least so far, and again, there's no evidence to show how good Ubisoft is at this, so I'm being cautious, but I think it deserves the spot. And sticking right with Ubisoft, let's just put the other one at number 6, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. I have more confidence in this one. I also think the first game is really good. And I don't know, I feel because of the studio thing that happened, right? Like it was originally given to a team that just didn't seem to like figure it out. They took it away from them. They kind of revamped it and restarted it. And now we know that the game is coming out in 2026. I feel like, and it should be the same thing for Splinter Cell, but I feel like all eyes are probably on Prince of Persia. You've got to do it right. And I hope that that means more pressure on them, and I hope that means that they're ready to rock and that we get a good experience, because if they were to mess this up, that would be very, very bad. So again, base game I think is extremely good. I feel like they can do the remake, and as long as, they don't really mess with the original formula, I think it's going to be quite good. Okay, number 5 is Silent Hill 2 Remake, right in the middle, right? Not too high, not too low. A game that I think is very, very good, elite, actually, and I hope that this remake can do it justice. I've long said I feel like they've been doing better, Bloober Team, at every time we see this game, but they're not there all the way. I'm very excited to just kind of see how this goes, right? Because you also think, you got the Metal Gear, a Solid 3, which we're also going to talk about on this list, but like, this is kind of the return of Konami. They've kind of been back because they've done other stuff, and like Silent Hill, the short message and stuff, but like, this is the big one. And even, it's Bloober Team, working with Konami. This is the return, and this is the return of their first big IP. You got Metal Gear, and then hopefully eventually we get some Castlevania games. There's a lot of eyes on it, and I want it to be good, but I also am just kind of excited to see what the end product is like. And also, with that being said, let's put the other Konami game at number 4, Metal Gear Solid 3. I think it's a phenomenal original game. For this specific one, you could say it actually for a lot of them. When you do remakes, and that's what Silent Hill 2 is, that's what Metal Gear is, you want to respect the original. I don't know why, maybe it's a movie or maybe it's a game. When you don't respect the original, or you really take it off course and you're doing a remake, that's not really the point of it, right? I mean, you're trying to do right by the original. So I think also without Kojima and just like the eyes that are going to be on it, you're really going to want to respect the original. That makes me have more confidence that they're going to do right by Metal Gear Solid 3. I also think that game, just as a whole or as a individual product, was extremely good. Also, what we've seen of it looks extremely good. So this is one I'm really excited for. I really want it to come out this year. It's supposed to come out this year, and I think it absolutely would have the qualities of a Game of the Year contender if it does release, and they do it right. All right, number 3, I'm putting The Witcher. Gotta be honest, I half forgot this thing existed. I was trying to look at, you can go on Wikipedia, there's different articles as well that kind of recap all of the remakes, remasters. I was just writing them down and then trying to, rank them on my own, and I kind of forgot that The Witcher was getting a remake. This one's a little bit different. This might be the first one besides Dragon Quest that I haven't played. So I never played. I watched a friend play Witcher 2, and then obviously I played Witcher 3. I think a lot of people, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people started with the third game, but I'm excited, for the first game to come back. Again, it's a situation where you got to do right by it. The thing is, and they've said things where, some elements of the first game haven't aged well, and so they're going to have to change it, and therein lies not necessarily the issue, because you might actually have to, but you're immediately going to have, the debate and the argument of, well, do you touch that kind of stuff, right? We'll see. This is, out of all of this, there's a couple of them that are years away. Witcher might be, the longest of this entire group, so we might have to wait a long time, but, to see Witcher 1 come back, and then from my perspective, never playing it before, and this maybe being the first time, that gets me excited. So this one's more off of like hope and excitement in the sense that I haven't played the original, maybe versus anything else, because we really don't know all that much. Okay, number 2 is the Max Payne remakes. I got a lot of confidence in this one. If there's anybody on this list with that confidence of, well, they made the first games, or 1 and 2, and to remake it, look, Alan Wake 2, it's certain parts of it, right? Like the New York kind of thing, and Sam Lake's character and all that, very much already resembles Max Payne. In fact, I think they were kind of just getting ready for it when they made Alan Wake 2. So I just feel like they're going to nail that atmosphere, the coloring, right? Like all that stuff is going to be just so good. I think they got it in the bag. So I grew up playing. That was one of the first games I ever remember my dad playing, was Max Payne 1. Love those 2 games. I actually love all 3 of them, kind of for different reasons, right? But I think Remedy's got it. And this is also one that maybe we get it like late next year, maybe just a year away. So, some of the games are closer than that, but this is a highly anticipated one from me, one that I think quality-wise can be the absolute best, and it's also not releasing in like 10 years from now. And that leads us to number 1, and you're not going to believe this. Well, you might. KOTOR, the Knights of the Old Republic. I'm throwing it in there, okay? This is fully off of just, I guess, blind and optimism, right? Or blind optimism, let's just combine the words, versus anything else. There's really no evidence to suggest that we should, have high hopes. Hopefully one day we get it. It needs a partner. It needs somebody to release it basically for them, and there's absolutely no guarantee. Like, I really went wild, for this last selection. If you're going based off of confidence, I think this has to almost be dead last, right? Like, this is off of my excitement for for them versus confidence. If it was confidence, what confidence? You know, the game has a 50-50 shot of actually ever releasing, but KOTOR is so good. It was a reason why so many people were so, including myself, when they showed it off that it was happening through PlayStation, whatever, the collaboration, and I just want it, and we can kind of judge for ourselves. You know, once we see it, I'm sure things are going to change, you know, even on this list. Maybe it drops, maybe it stays there, but in terms of a game that's so good and a game that I really like, and the potential and just the excitement and the hopes, all those kind of buzzwords, this one is the high. Confidence is not one of them, but everything else would be rather high. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.